Hey guys, RC here, back with episode 9. This is Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020, and we're doing this for GM Games. Don't forget to check out the rest of their great videos. Don't forget to check out my channel for my own content. And let's get into the Navy Midshipmen. We're here in our second season of this Journeyman style save. Just so if you're just tuning in, a Journeyman style save, you start off with a low prestige as a coach and you try to build yourself up and advance accordingly to higher prestige schools. So the goal at some point is to either end up at Michigan as a lower major school, or to the Dukes and North Carolinas of the world is where we want to end up at some point in our career. We may have a less than illustrious career, and we may end up being a MAC or Mid-American Conference or Sun Belt Conference coach our entire career. We don't know. That's part of the fun of playing and finding out where we're gonna go. So here's just a quick recap of last episode of the wins and losses. We're doing about, I think, 6 games per episode is what we determined. So we had, 2 losses, Lafayette and Lehigh. We beat Bucknell, and then losses to Boston, American, and a win over Holy Cross. So today's 6 games: Loyola, Colgate, Army, and then back into it for the return matches: Lafayette, Lehigh, and Bucknell. Bad news, Zach Benton was injured in our last game. Zach Benton is our freshman point guard. Taking a look at his stats, he has started 15 of our 17 games, playing 22 minutes, 8.8 points a game, 2.6 assists, 1 rebound, and he has scored 149 points. Pretty dangerous from the right corner here, not the corner, but I don't know, this midpoint beyond the arc. Really strong inside, just inside with that mid-range jumper, except from the left side. He's not very good from the corners. 5 of 14, 2 of 17, and doesn't score a lot in the paint, only 50% at the rim. But he has a strained abdomen. He's going to be out 12 more days, so hopefully he'll be back here sooner rather than later. But 12 days, I don't know, what does that do for us? We're playing 2 a week, so that's 7, 9. So he might be back for Lehigh, so he might be back near the end of this episode, but we'll find out. So we're going to have to go in and deal with that. So let's go to our depth chart, and there is Zach. Now he is not, actually he was our starter. Yeah, that was our freshman guy, right? So I'm going to hit restore lineup. Or this is the one, no, we had made the decision to give Neslin a couple of starts. Okay, so let's see. Who are we going to swap out here? I guess let's go ahead and suggest Matrix. Let's do that. Oh, Laws has a bruised tricep. He's out for 6 days. Let's do that and then suggest Matrix. Well, I'm going to actually suggest all. It's saying Laws can make it. Why can I not see that? The bruised tricep. So he's 86%. So he can play. All right, so that's what that's telling me. What's his stats look like? He's got 2 starts this year, 17 minutes a game, 2.1 turnovers. That's what was killing us, and the freshman was doing a much better job. But we're going to go with this due to the injuries. Actually, it still has Benton. Well, he's 87%. You know what? Let's restore our lineup. Suggest the Matrix. Let's go with that. Let's keep our, because yeah, they're not out. Okay, I thought he was like really hurt. All right, well, let's get to it. The AI is doing the recruiting this season just for us to be able to take a look at it. And there was a comment made over on the GM Games Reddit page yesterday. Let me pull that up real quick. Let's see, GM Games. Draft Day Sports. Somebody named Polk said there were some bugs in the game, which, you know, I'm not saying they're not, but, you know, we haven't had an issue yet. And, you know, the one thing I can say for Gary and the guys over at Wolverine is if there are bugs, they'll do their best to fix them. But anyway, there was supposedly a bug. He was trying to hire a second assistant, but when he hid the run one bid round, or when he hit the run one bid round, all it appears is a pop-up with the one guy being hired from another team. So it seems it's in a loop. All right, so anyway, I don't know if we'll try to hire a coach, but maybe we'll play around with that just to see if we can confirm that and help out in any way, shape, or form. We are going to play and sim the day today. We do sim the games. We don't play them out. So hopefully that is not a complete turnoff for some of you guys. And we get a 65-60 win. We saw the Raging Cajuns pop up in there. Wouldn't mind coaching them at some point down the road as a lower team that we would be able to deal with. So 65-60 victory. That is huge. It's always nice to get a win. So Laster does not score any points in 28 minutes, and he only took 2 shots, but he got 11 rebounds, so we'll give him that. 3 points and 9 boards for Welch, 10 points and 7 boards for Austin, so he was our big scorer in the paint. 3 of 9 shooting, 4 of 7 from the stripe. 8 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists for Laws with 2 turnovers, but he ended up plus 10. Top for the game for our side, and 6 points, 5 boards for McCray. We did get 14 points from Hurd off the bench, 23 minutes. Now Hurd is a 2 guard. Did we have anybody? Okay, yeah. So Welch is a 3, so he got into foul trouble, as did Laws, and Laws is he's our point guard. So looks like Hurd may have had to have come in and play some extra minutes due to some foul trouble. McCray, 3 personal fouls, only played 16 minutes. Not injured, so not sure what that was about. Let's see, let's double check here. Yeah, McCray set up to play 32 minutes a game, so he only played half of that. Interesting. All right, well, let's go back into it. Let's check our standings because that was a victory. So that gets us up to 3 wins, 4 losses, and we are now 1 game out of the cellar. And we have 8 wins on the season, so we are only 2 wins away from our season mark that we are shooting for. So we're going to go ahead and move ahead, sim to date, and we'll be back with results in just a second. All right, we lose to Colgate by 9, so that's disappointing. Gonzaga gets a win, 20th win on the season. Let's take a look at this box score. So this was a road game. We actually led by 3 at the half, but got outscored by a dozen in the second half. Laster with 9. 6 points, 4 boards for Welch. Austin only 4 points and 3 boards in 20 minutes. He was in some foul trouble, as was Laws, 4 fouls. And McCray had 4 fouls. But McCray actually led the team with 22 points. 25 points for Mays for Colgate. And we had 7 points for Hurd and 9 points for Wilder coming off the bench. Okay. Benton, 5 points, 4 turnovers, 3 assists. Ouch. That's not good. Not good. All right, still looking for emails just to keep us in the know of what's happening. All right, that'll be our next match against Army. Oh, we don't want that one. It is sim to date. All right, the last day is winding up right here. Let's go back and check out the score. Hello, there we are. And a 5-point home victory over the Black Knights. That's a big win because they're one of our rivals. They're our conference rival, military-wise. And then, of course, we added Air Force prior to this season for the Commanders Cup. So we beat, hold on. We beat Air Force earlier in the season. And now we have beaten Army. So even if we lose to Army, well, did they play? I guess that's the question. Did they play Air Force and win or lose? But I would say that sews the Commanders Cup up for us, because if they didn't play Air Force, we'll have the advantage. But anyway, they don't actually award the Commanders Cup. We're just doing that in our head. All right, so let's see. 79-74 win. We were up by 10 at the half, and then gave 5 points back in the second half. Leading scorer was Austin, 19.7 boards. He actually had more offensive rebounds, which is unusual. 14 points for McCray, 3 assists, 5 turnovers. Benton with 8 points, 3 assists, 2 turnovers. Hurd had 7. Skipper with 6. Skipper is the guy we had ended up putting on in the starting lineup. And he has started 17 games. So that means he has started up until recently. We'll have to look at that, because I think we actually wanted him playing. And he's averaging 9 points, 5.5 boards. All right, we'll go in and look at that a little bit. But let's see. Benton with 8, Hurd 7, Skipper with 6. Had more paint points, a lot, 14-1 in second chance points. They did get us a little bit on the fast break, which is all right. We do have 4 emails to check out. We had another campus visit. Didn't think it was worthwhile. Norton candidates. All right, let's just jump into recruiting just to see what's going on. We've got our 4 recruits that we've had. They cannot sign. We're January 31st. So that puts us here, evaluation period. So, yeah, they don't sign again till the end of the season. So we get our early signings right at the beginning of the season in mid-November. And then there's more recruiting, and then they re-sign the end of the year. So we won't see any more signings until April, which is all right. Let's take a look at the standings with that win. Army, that's their first conference loss of the season. They're 12-8 overall. We've gotten our 9th win, and we are 4-5. Unfortunately, everybody else won as well down at the bottom, including Loyola. So we're still only 1 game out of the cellar. And that's our goal, is to not finish last and to get 10 wins. So we're on the cusp of a 10-win season, which should keep everybody happy. Let's take a look at our home office, just how we're doing. Job security still 100. All right. Everything's going well, I guess, as well as can be expected. All right, let's get up to the next game. All right, so that did not go well. Army lost again, road game, but we got blown out by 23 by Lafayette, and it wasn't even close. We only scored 23 points in the first half, down 13, and then got outscored double digits again in the second half. Strangely, they didn't dominate us anywhere in here. We had double the second chance points. We were only 2 off points in the paint, and they only had 2 more fast break points. So what is the deal? Well, if we scroll down to the bottom, we shot 36% from the floor. They shot 53%. We shot 10% behind the arc, 2 of 20, and they shot 50%, 11 of 22. That is a hell of a shooting day. Yeah, it takes a lot to offset that kind of variance. So they just had a lot more baskets, just better shooting. We actually had 3 more shots than they did. So it was just numbers in basket. 10 points was our leading scorer. Laster with 10 and 6. 9 and 8 for Austin. We got 7 from Skipper off the bench. And look at everybody played except for Nesland. Wow. So we had a lot of guys. Even though they only played 1 minute, that's the most players that we've seen play. So even simming the game, the assistant coach is using that bench in various ways. It's not set in stone. Wanted to double check, make sure we hadn't gone to overtime here, but also let's check. Nobody was in personal foul trouble on our end, so that didn't lead to minutes. In fact, the most fouls that we had was Austin with 3 in 24 minutes. So that's just, something that got my attention there. All right, well, that is 3 matches in the bag. So we are going to get to the next game. Now, you guys won't see this until Wednesday, but my birthday was this past Monday. So another year older, a few more gray hairs, I think. Wow. So today is May 2nd, Saturday. So my birthday's on Monday. You guys will be seeing this on Wednesday. But the primary series that I record on my YouTube channel is Football Manager. And I just got a tweet from Football Manager, the Twitter account for SI, the developer for that game. And today would have been the final game of the regular season for the championship, with Leeds possibly getting promoted. And we would have been playing Charlton at, well, it would have been on right now, I guess. No, they would have played at 9. So in about an hour and a half that would have kicked off. So, and if you don't follow soccer, then you're probably just not aware, but Leeds is one of the larger clubs in Europe that are not in a top tier division. They are in a second division and have not been up for quite some time. And this was kind of a big deal for them to try to get promoted this year. Oh well. Anyway, that just hit, and it just kind of got me thinking. So a little emotional about that. I love my sports and I love my teams. All right, well, we had 3 more campus visits, and we do need to get back to the match there. Just wanted to check that out. Lehigh beats us 79-67, so that's a 12-point defeat at home. We were down 10 at the half. Laster with 3, Welch with 6. Nobody looked very good. Skipper had 15 off the bench, 11 for Hurd. I think we need to go in and take a look at 5, 6. So we have 1 match left against Bucknell, but I think we need to jump into this depth chart here. So let's restore the lineup. So that's the lineup I wanted, but I want Benton to be back at point. We've got McCray. Suggest the matrix. There we go. So you saw it had McCray on the bench, but we do have Skipper down here. Skipper is on the bench. You know what? I do want to change that. And then I want to store that lineup. All right. So that's the guys we're going to go with. We are going to go with Austin. I'm going to put Skipper back in the lineup. Benton will be at the point, the freshman. And that's how we're going to end this sim, with that lineup that I want to play. Aaron Welch hit 2 of 5 shots on his way to a 6-point, 2 assist, 2 rebound game as Navy lost to Lehigh. Not really the headline you want to see for your team, is it? Not really. Not really. Well, Army with a big win, and we drop one by 5 points, so we fall just short of our goals in this sim today. A lot of second chance points, 12-2, and but they dominated us in the paint. Skiffer with 5 and 8, plus 5 though. 6 and 7 with 5 assists for Welch. 12 and 9 for Austin. That's a nice game. 13 and 3 for Benton. Only 1 assist, 1 turnover, but he ends up plus 3. And what do we have? 9 points, 2 boards for McCray, 7 points for Laws coming off the bench. And that is 37% shooting, 22% from behind the arc, 90% from the line. 25, and they just, we had 6 more total shots, and they didn't have any 3-pointers. They dominated, they just pounded the paint, but just much better shooting, and we did not have enough 3-pointers to offset that. 24 points from their top 2 scores. So how does that sit us right now? Well, we're still 1 game short at 9 wins overall. 4 and 8, we're still a game ahead of Boston University. A very good hockey team from what I understand. Just from what I've heard, I don't know anything about hockey, not a game that I follow or pay any attention to. But yeah, we've really struggled here down the stretch. So taking a look at the dashboard. So 3 losses in a row after winning 2 of our first 3 and looking like we might actually have something going here. And only one of them was even remotely close. So that's disappointing. So a couple more visits. None of them went well. So we'll see how recruiting goes. I'm pretty happy with some of the recruits that we've gotten. It'll be interesting to see how their ratings play out when we actually sign them moving into next season. But we will worry about that down the road. We have 6 matches left. And then the playoffs. I tell you what, I'm only at about 24 minutes here. And I know that next episode's going to run a little long. So let's go ahead and knock out 1 extra game. All right, coming back into the last game here. We're going to do one. And that was Boston. That was a game we needed to win, guys. At home. Skiffer gets 10. McCray gets 12. Benton 9 and 6 assists to 1 turnover. I mean, there's a lot of plus points here. How did he end up with plus 13? I have no idea how the plus minus gets calculated, but 5 points, 4 assists, 1 board in 33 minutes, shooting 25% and 18% from 3-point range. I'm not sure how that transpires into a plus 13. Oh well, if you know how a plus minus is calculated, throw that down in the comments. I'd be interested to know. We actually had 1 less possession, but 1 more bucket. 43 to 40%. 4 of 15. 6 of 24. And they hit 9 of 12. We were 5 of 8. So that's 4 points there. And that's 6 points there. So that's 10. And then we only made up 1. So yeah. That's disappointing. Wow. All right, couple more emails to look at. Norton semifinalist, if you are interested at home. There is your top 20 players in the country for Player of the Year. All right. Got to hit that twice, I guess, to get it to delete. And let's take one last look at the standings. And that drops us into the cellar as Boston gets ahead of us on head-to-head, I suppose. We're still sitting on 9 wins. We need 1 more to at least hit that. And boy, After winning 2 of 3 to start this, I did not think we would lose 4 in a row to drop all the way back into the cellar, but that is what has happened. Army did lose 2, and we were one of those wins, so that's good, but they have won 3 on the bounce, 4 for Lehigh, as they have vaulted into second position. Meanwhile, we are the worst team with 4 losses in a row. So before I exit the game, what have we changed? We've changed the depth chart. So let's let our bench coach make the decision here. And that puts Benton to where he's not even playing. All right, well, we will go with that. So he's going to go with more. He wants to go with more of the veteran leadership. So McCray is a senior, right? That's fine. Hurd is a senior. Welch, also a senior. Laster, a senior. And Austin is a sophomore. I do remember that. So he wants to go with a senior Ladin lineup. Wilder is a good player, but he's number 2 to Austin. So, and we really don't have anybody else. I do like Benton. I think he's a better option at the point than McCray, but that's what we're going to go with that. Now, this is the point. We did talk about this a couple of episodes back. We had looked at Card's video with strategies and tips for depth charts and strategy. And he said at a point in the season where you feel you're not going to accomplish anything, go with your young players, let them play, because playing, not just practicing, but then playing will help them develop better. And then that sets you up for next year by getting them more minutes. But we're going to go with this until we get our 10th win. And that's going to be key, because we need that 10th win in order to hit one of our 2 goals. Because if we don't hit either one of them, we're going to lose job security. So we want to try to keep this maxed out. Now, we may still finish last, but like we did last year, we got to 10 wins and it didn't affect anything. Now, how long we can carry that on, I don't know. But we want to at least hit one of the 2 if we can. So let's go with the assistant coach's suggestion until we get to 10, and then we'll hang it up on the season, basically. Play the young players, let them develop for next season, and then we'll do that. So that's kind of the game plan. Guys, thanks for checking out this episode. Let me know what you think of things so far. Are we going to hit either one of these goals? I think 10 wins we'll get. Are we going to get out of the cellar this year? Let me know. All right, guys. See you next episode. Have a good one. Bye.